Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm really excited to dive into this stunning new Jack Wolf Knives Benny's clip. If you're looking for a blend of classic design and modern craftsmanship, you're in for a treat. First off, let's talk about the design. You have a total length of 6.81 inches. The Benny's clip features a beautiful clip point blade that not only looks sleek, but is also very functional. The blade is made from high quality CPM S90V steel, which is known for its excellent edge retention and high stain and wear resistance. And in my opinion, for a slip joint, it's a perfect combination. When I sharpened S90V, I found that a coarse 600 grit edge with some stropping of 12 micron has been my perfect combo that seems to last a lot longer on highly abrasive materials like sisal rope, cardboard, stuff like that, rather than putting a mirror polished edge on it. With that coarse edge, it has excellent aggression and it's going to hold that edge for quite some time. And from all the ones I've tested, they've all performed very, very well. This blade has a nice high hollow grind that comes down nice and thin. The straight edge portion is around 14 thousandths behind the edge, so it's going to be very slicey in that section. Great for in-hand cuts like cardboard. And then you have this belly, that hollow grind thickens up towards that tip to around 26 thousandths behind the edge. So some of the harder things up here in the front are the more delicate stuff, and then your super slicey portion in the straight edge section. There's one nail nick, nice top swedge for some aesthetic flair that thins out the tip just a little bit so it's not overly thick. You have an excellent sharpening choil that should give you tons of sharpening life before you'll start to thicken up in the back right here. Now let's put this beauty to the test. The Benny's clip is not just a looker, it's definitely designed for real world use, whether you're breaking down cardboard boxes like this, slicing through rope, opening packages, or prepping food. This knife's going to handle it all, and it should handle it with ease. The blade geometry on this knife is spot on, allowing for precision cuts as well as some of your tougher things near the tip. This is by far the sharpest Jack Wolf I've gotten out of box. Absolutely love seeing that. It's definitely making short work of all my testing materials. The contoured scales are very nice and comfy. No hot spots that I noticed anywhere. And we're testing that right here on this piece of pine. And man, it just wanted to bite quickly, so I'm having to use very, very light, delicate pressure. And then I start kicking it up a notch toward the end to make sure there's nothing poking, prodding me or uncomfortable. And it was a nice solid grip. I like the way that the starburst pattern offers some extra texture while still having that classy aesthetic. So excellent job all around in that department, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm really bearing down there. So this is where I can tell that the knife has a nice aggression to that edge, kind of like I'm talking with that coarse edge. I find that S90V just really excels whenever it's in that 600 grit range and then stropped up afterward. It just, yeah, I've tried all different edges and that's been my sweet spot. I found that when you're cutting, breaking down boxes and doing stuff like this with the sisal rope, those are very abrasive materials, and I found that edge to last far longer than a mirror polished edge on S90V. S90V just has it has a lot of carbides in it, so those carbides don't do well with polishing, at least in my experience, especially on the S90V. I mean, I've tested some other high carbide steels, but this one, I think it's a perfect platform for this because, in my opinion, if you're going to get a slip joint, I like a slip joint for the performance factor because these Jack Wolf knives have nice thin hollow grinds, so they slice very, very well. And, that's what gets me to carry these because other than that, I usually carry a locking folder. That's just my preference. But when I have a job that needs some excellent performance, there's not a lot of companies that are giving you these type of hollow grinds. And then that paired with the S90V is a recipe for just an awesome cutter, awesome performance knife. And you can see right here, I'm using my pointer finger grip. And anytime you see me do that pointer finger grip, it means it's slicing it very easily. because if not, I just don't have the strength of my fingers anymore to push down onto that blade. Ever since my accident, it's just way too difficult for me. I think we cut like 180 cuts before I ran out of the piece I cut. Not testing for head retention, but it definitely performed, and it performed very, very well. And I was so impressed on how it glided through this 1/8-inch leather that I cut like 3 extra pieces. And even though I can't use that tip to do dry cuts because you'd have to be at a 90-degree angle, that belly works outstanding. So the versatility's there. You know, is it as versatile as a low tip drop point? No, but it's still a nice versatile blade. It has attributes that the lower tip drop point doesn't, and all these materials did not stand a chance. I thought it performed great, and that edge still feels really, really nice after I completed all this testing. So yeah, this was one of the funnest ones I've tested. Now, let's take a look at the walk and talk. And I'm not too good at measuring this, but I did bring it to my neighbor who is into traditional knives. So he gave me his score, but just listen to this. And I'm going to tell you right now, this has the strongest walk and talk out of any of my Jack Wolf knives. And it's not in a bad way. It's in a very crisp and nice clickety-clack sound. I do love the fact that even though you have that nail nick, I can still pinch to open it, because when I can't do that, it's very hard for me to open because I have very bad dexterity in my hands, but I can still pinch this one open and just listen. Okay, that's your half stop. Of course, it's flush in the half stop. And then this. Oh. I wish you could have seen the smile on my neighbor's face whenever he opened this one up. He rated it 7.5, close to an 8. It's definitely stronger than my original Benny's clip. Nothing wrong with this one, but it's just a little bit stronger. And I like that, you know. It's a slip joint, doesn't have a lock, so you want it to be sturdy, especially here. And this, you know, I can put my thumb on here. I'm not worried about this coming down. You have this beautiful blasted finish over this starburst pattern. I thought it looked just fantastic. You have triple flutes up here with the faux bolster style, and then I don't know what color, but there's like it almost looks like a PVD or blackened tie finish on the tie hardware. T10 for the pivot, T8 for those body screws. You have a very nice subtle contour on those scales, making this thing very comfortable in hand, like I talked about during the cutting. Blade is perfectly centered down the pipe, didn't expect anything less. And being that these are hafted, meaning that they hand finish these once they put them together, they're absolutely flawless. Seamless construction there, no high spots. You got a nice brushed satin finish on that stainless steel backspacer. Yeah, this, in my opinion, is just a very classic, beautiful looking design. I've always thought that the Lanny's clip point was a stunning, stunning design, and one that just kind of is more as a nostalgic for me, because whenever I used to hunt with my brothers, they always carried usually a buck clip point, but that's just where this takes me. So yeah, I'd say the walk and talk, perfection, nice and smooth on mine, very nice. I have no side to side play. Comes with a nice leather slip. Mine's nice and supple, and he also sells some custom slips on his site if you want something a little bit nicer. The weight on this one is 95.1 grams or 3.35 ounces without the slip, and with the slip is coming in right under 4 ounces. So really, really nice. It carries really well for a nice size slip joint, in my opinion. Now for some quick size comparisons, we have the locking version of the Benny's clip. And as you can see, it's a little bit smaller than the locking version. And then you have the Vampire Jack, which is a little bit smaller. Here it is next to the traditional pocket knives, Lake Champlain Barlow, and the TPK Ohio River Jack. As you see, it's in the middle of those two. And to locking folders, it's just a hair shorter than both the Civivi Elementum and the Ontario Rat Model 2. All right, nitpicks, complaints. I really don't have anything, because my only nitpick I'm pretty sure about this one was the sharpening choil was a little bit too small, and as you can see on the new variation, it is larger, and you should get a good bit more sharpening life out of the newer version. Now, let's talk about value. The Benny clip is priced at $300, which I get it, it's steep. But when you consider the craftsmanship, the materials, and the performance, it makes sense in my opinion. Not to mention, he's testing out a new steel series that has the same attention to detail, but instead of titanium, it's stainless steel with micarta covers and a 14C 28M blade instead of S90V steel for $100 less. I don't know if that's enticing to you or not. That's why he's doing a feeler here and seeing how that is accepted. Because if nobody wants that or they don't think it's a good deal, then he's just not going to do it anymore. But he's doing everything he can, to get them into as many people's hands as possible. This is definitely a piece you'll want to pass down through generations, in my opinion. It should last you a lifetime as long as you treat it like a high-performance knife should be treated. So, should you add the Jack Wolf Benny's clip to your collection? If you appreciate traditional design with a modern twist and want a high-performance everyday carry knife, I'd say yes. If you're okay with spending $300 on a slip joint. It's a beautiful made knife that performs exceptionally well. The performance is what gets me to carry him as much as I do. If you have any questions in particular, feel free to ask me down below. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more knife and gear content, and let me know in the comments, what do you think of the Benny's clip and the new steel series? Until next time, keep your blades sharp and smile more. Peace.